Yes, I'm back with yet another preview, and that does mean there are lots of other ones on the channel as well. So we're going to do the X570 Pro, we've got the X570 Strix on the channel as well, we've got the Crosshair 8 Formula. There will also be the Tough X570 and the Crosshair 8 Hero. There are other brands on the channel as well if you want to have a look, but click through to the website because they're all there with loads of pictures and loads of up-close stuff, and yes, there's loads more. Anyway, Prime. I actually like the Prime boards, pretty simple. I like white stuff. So, in the box, it is actually a bit simple. You get two SATA cables, you get an addressable RGB extension cable, your driver CD, manual, and then you get a code for 20% off cable mod. Now this code can only be used once, and I show them in all the videos. If you use my code, then it would be great if you could tweet me or tag me on Instagram, or even better, post it on Facebook or the forums or something, so that I can have a look, because I'm actually interested in what system you might put that into. So, the Prime. Now what we are doing is it is just an aesthetic look because we are still under NDA. So I can't talk about too much of the specifics. There will be no performance. I'm not allowed to put a CPU in it. We are going to light it up a bit later on, but that's done in a magical way with a USB connector and stuff like that. But I'm going to give you a good slow look around the board. You're going to get some good up-close shots of all the hardware that's on it as well. Feel free to pause as we go around. And one of the things I will say is if you've not seen one of my videos before and you like them, how about subscribing? And if you're a regular or you're one of the new people and you want to be kept up to date, make sure you hit that bell, because that's the only way you can get it in your, or get notifications on it now, because YouTube is being a little bit more finicky about things than it normally is at the moment. So you get an 8-pin and a 4-pin power connector up in that top left hand corner. I'm just moving light around as we do it. Then if I slide the board across, what you can see in the top right hand corner is you've got 3 fan headers there. So you've got CPU optional, the normal CPU one, and then you have an AIO pump header as well. You've got an RGB header on that top edge. When we come down a little bit further, you've got an RGB header down here. This one is a normal 4-pin. This one is actually a normal 4-pin as well. I'm a bit surprised, because normally you have an addressable up on the top, and there is no addressable at the top. There's only a single one at the bottom. So I'm a bit surprised with that. But then you do have your post lights up here, so it tells you what stage the post is at, and if the light stays on and your system doesn't start, that gives you a rough idea about where it may have frozen and what might be stopping your system from posting properly. When we do come down, we've got a basic power switch there. You need to remember that the Prime ones, they've kind of been scaled back a little bit. They might still do like the deluxes every now and then, but this is just kind of like the general access kind of version for it. You do still get your USB 3.2 Gen 2 there. You only get 6 SATA slots rather than 8. Then in the bottom corner, you've obviously got your I/O. There is that single addressable that I said to you about, but you do get 3 further fan headers there. And then there's also a node header. This is a proprietary Asus connector that they're trying to kind of get going at the moment. USB 3 header there, 2 USB 2s. We come a little bit further across, you get to the audio section. You can see the Japanese capacitors. Crystal sound, they call this one, for the audio. We pan up through, and then you can see another fan header there, which is kind of handy. Then to pan out, we have a long M.2 slot there with a heatsink. Then you've got a normal 80mm one. Oh no, it is 110 as well. So it's 2 long ones. Then round the back, what we have is gigabit Ethernet at the bottom with the audio, and then you can see the other connectors. I would say this, looking at it just quickly, it is a little bit light on USB. If you did want to get yourself a USB 3 hub though, literally you can, for simple things, even I run them underneath my desk so that I have multiple things like my keyboard, my mouse, my USB DAC, that sort of things. I put them on a hub underneath the desk out the way. It actually helps keep things tidy and stop you dragging all your cables back to the rig as well. So if they're not quite long enough, because I've got a corner desk. But when we do look at this, what we can do is you can have a look at the specifics on the back of the board. And I'm just kind of being careful because this is kind of the best that I can do at the moment. But you can obviously see PCI Express 4, it talks about the VGAs, the storage, as it's PCI Express 4, expansion slots, CPU support. If you want to use these video out headers, you need an APU on the board. Not all of the AMD CPUs have an inbuilt GPU. You do need to keep that in mind. It has tripped a couple of people up. Back to the box when it, there we go. And then single gigabit LAN, as you can see. But then the audio might be interesting to a few more of you out there. But what we will do, with my magic USB cable, you can power the lights on the board. There is no CPU in there. And just for the sake of NDA, I'm going to zoom right in. And despite not being able to see it very well, I do need to do this for NDA as well. There we go. Anyway, so you've got the one light over the I/O. Now that is starting to catch the light down here a little bit. It kind of all shadows itself through. As you can see, I'm just closing it up. So with a graphics card in there, most graphics cards I would assume would end up blocking the bulk of that up. Obviously we haven't got the fan running or anything underneath the chipset heatsink, and we can't really talk about any noise or temperatures or anything, but we will keep an eye on that and it will come up in the main review. The main review will be on or around the 7th of July. I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to get each one of them up, but the NDA lift is the 7th of July. That's when we can talk to you about performance. That's when we can talk to you about Navi. All of the interesting stuff. It's going to be an awfully busy time, and we will try and get as much done as quick as we possibly can do. You can tell I've been doing too many of these videos already today. Anyway, after a long drive to go and get these boards, because I drove to Hemel from Southampton just to pick these up, this is going to be my final one for the day. Now we are literally going to be at the mercy of YouTube and how quick it decides to process them. So that's another preview for you guys. Don't forget to go and have a look at the channel. The videos will be coming up thick and fast. There's going to be loads more other brands as well, so don't forget to go and check. Please go and have a look at the OC3D website, because it's all going up there as well. And in fact, it's probably the quickest place for you to be able to go and check, because if there's an article up there or a preview, there will be a video with it, and YouTube can take a little bit of a while to update sometimes, and you know, if you've not got the bell ticked and all that sort of stuff, it can be a little bit backwards. So go and have a check on the website, see how you get on. Love to hear from you in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. This is the tiniest one.